Good afternoon. I'm Delane Simpson, the Vice Chair. I'd like to call to order the Code Enforcement and Nuisance Board for July 26, 2016, a little after 5 o'clock in the City Hall Commission chambers. I'd like to call the roll call at this point in time, please. Roll call.
Deere.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Deerbone.
Yes.
Wilder.
Yes.
Thomas.
Thank you. I want to welcome our guests today, especially our visitors in blue back there, and thank you for coming. Our first order of business will be the approval of the minutes of June 28th.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Second.
Deere. Deerbone. Deere.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Deerbone.
Yes.
Wilder.
Yes.
Okay, if there are no comments or announcements and the hearing agenda for appeals, we will begin with code enforcement case. Let's back up. We have to swear in our folks. Thought I was going to forget, didn't you? Just swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Jury, I told myself I wasn't going to forget that, but I did forget it. All right, code enforcement case number 1. Case 2016-2115, citation 2016-3674, 1541 Sunrise Drive North. Owner F.O. Huffman, respondent Oda Huffman, Officer Brad Starkarski. Brad?
At the meeting last month, June 28th, the board, this case was brought before the board when the owner had appealed the second citation. The board voted to uphold the citation and fine, which allowed code enforcement to continue with our case. At the board meeting, Mr. Huffman told the board that the property was in compliance at the time of the meeting and presented photographic evidence to support that statement. The day following the board meeting, which was the 29th, code enforcement coordinator James Napper and I went to the property to inspect as the location was already due for a post-citation compliance check anytime after June 27th. At that inspection, which was the day after the code board meeting, we found the property still be in violation. As you see in front of you, the property had several inoperable and unlicensed vehicles, an accumulation of rubbish and garbage on the property, mainly in the backyard, an accumulation of junk and scrap, namely metal, several unused or discarded appliances, 2 large fireplace inserts, car parts, namely radiators and batteries, and sinks, like kitchen sinks. There was also an accumulation of construction and demolition debris, mainly in the backyard, such as wood, concrete blocks, fencing material, metal, tarps, buckets, PVC piping, etc. The fence was dilapidated. There's still a broken boarded or missing window on the accessory building or shed with unprotected or untreated wood, and there's a stack of tires outdoor by the shed. Apparently those tires have been there this whole time, but we couldn't see them because the grass was so tall, and now that the grass is cut, the tires are able to be seen by the shed. At that time, a third citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by certified mail to the PVA listed owner and address. Photographs were taken of the citation and property, and it had a compliance date of July 11th. That compliance date was postponed due to the filed appeal. As of this writing, as of today, the case is open 104 days. The property is still in violation as of today. Before we get to today's pictures, again, the pictures in front of you are from the day after the code board meeting, where Mr. Huffman had presented evidence that the property was in compliance. In addition, I have 2 pictures here side by side. The picture on the left was from the day in April when the notice of violation was sent. The picture on the right is from the day after the board meeting last month when the third citation was issued. In that picture, you can see the PVC piping, construction material, 2 sinks that are upside down, 2 fireplace inserts, etc. And in the next picture, go back one, Tim. This is a zoomed out view, but I mean, even the chair is in the same location, the PVC is in the same location since April. Nothing really as far as those violations had changed, or that portion was not in compliance. Before I get to today, it should be noted that the three vehicles that were in the, or at least three of the vehicles that were in the backyard of the property at this location, were found at 419 Church Avenue. I was on Church Avenue for an unrelated case, a citizen complaint, and while there, I was driving through the alley and found that behind 419 Church Avenue, the three vehicles from Mr. Huffman's yard were relocated to this property. All three were parked on the grass, and all three were inoperable or unlicensed, so those three vehicles in violation were just moved from his property to this one. You'll see those pictures there in front of you, the green Jaguar and the white convertible vehicle there. On the left are from behind 1541 Sunrise, and on the right are at 419 Church. The next picture has the red pickup truck that was parked in the backyard, which is now parked again behind Church Avenue. And the last picture, I believe, is of the white car. So again, they were just moved from one location to another and were still in violation at Church Avenue. As of today, though, we sent a notice of violation, to that address on July 13th for inoperable vehicles and cars on the yard. As of today, all three of those big vehicles have been removed from the Church Avenue location. I'm not quite sure as to their current location, as you'll see in front of you, because today, when we went to go take pictures, Mr. Huffman has now shored up or installed more fencing around the backyard, making it difficult to see the remainder of the yard or if there are any vehicles parked there. That being said, the pictures in front of you are from this afternoon, about 11:30. Those four vehicles have flat tires, are unlicensed, and inoperable vehicles that are still parked in the front of the residence. To the rear of the residence, there's still an accumulation of junk, rubbish, debris, construction material, peeling paint on the sheds, broken window on the shed. In one picture, and again, this is the new fence that's been extended, so it's difficult to see or have a comparison like those other two photos earlier, which was the notice of violation compared to the third citation date. However, even with the fencing up, the property is still in violation not only because of those vehicles, but as you'll see in the following pictures, the accumulation of metal, construction debris, tarps and plastic. There's a vehicle transmission sitting in the backyard. There's an oven, a range, and cooktop sitting in the backyard. Still numerous pieces of junk and debris and construction material and such that are present. This is the very back part of the yard, and there's, I guess, just a bunch of wood and tires and stuff that are back behind the fence there. This is the rolls of plastic that's been there since day one. There was a gap in the fence where you could see that the chairs and sinks were still present that didn't really come out in the photo very well. And I believe the picture is coming up here in just a minute where you'll be able to see the car transmissions and sinks and such. That picture right there, if you look on the left, right before where the leaves are, there's a vehicle transmission. Just, again, an accumulation of just junk and debris in between there. Wood and cinder blocks, plastic, metal, tubing, pretty much all the same things that have been there since April. And there's the oven that's sitting out back. And again, that's, I mean, it's hard to relay in the picture, but that's just in plain view, just sitting in the backyard there. So that's where the case is at today. Again, this is an appeal of the third citation where Mr. Huffman had appealed the third citation that was written saying the property was in compliance at the time of the third citation. And not only do I contest that it was in compliance, but that even today it is in compliance. And that's where we're at.
Thank you. It's quite a detailed report. He did turn in a citation appeal, and I presume he was notified at the end of this evening. Have we been notified one way or the other that he will or will not be here?
We haven't had any communication with him since the last meeting. He hasn't communicated with our office at all except for delivering the appeal. and the notice to appear was sent by certified mail. I don't know if we have the return card or if that was after we switched over, but
Yes, I've gotten the certified mail receipt back, but, right.
Also, another comment on the appeal, the person's signature is Kyrus Huffman. Who is Kyrus Huffman?
Kyrus is the gentleman that was here at the last board meeting that did most of the speaking, and that's the gentleman that I've been dealing with primarily. I don't know, I recall that he said that he lived with his mom, so I believe that that was his mother that was
Did
with
say
him
that.
last time. And I guess that when he, on the appeal, that's who Olita is, I believe. So I don't know if the initials on the PBA record, the F.O. Huffman, I'm not sure if that maybe is the initials of the two people that own the house, or, and Kyrus is the son, or what, but he does live there, and he's the gentleman that was here doing most of the speaking last time.
It appears to me that when he told us he had done everything, last time he had not. In fact, deceived us by moving the vehicles to another location. Do you know who owns the property on Church Avenue?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who owns the property on Church Avenue where the vehicles were parked?
I could tell you the owner here in a minute. I will tell you it's a rental, though. The actual owners live over on Clay Street, and it appears to be a rental property, so I'm not sure if they are friends or, I mean, that's just conjecture of Mr. Huffman's.
Humble opinion, the man has deceived us and just didn't do what he said he was going to do.
Well, and as a reminder, those are the 3 or 4 vehicles in the back that he had told the board that he had already scrapped or recycled.
Right,
So
right,
that's,
right. Does the board have any questions? Any discussion or motions?
the property there at 419 Church is owned by a Lena Hayes. And again, that person has a mailing address on Clay Street, so it appears to be a rental or a non-owner occupied building.
I'd like to make a motion.
Please do so.
I'd like to make a motion to uphold the citation and fine in the amount of $406.75 and implement a per-day fine in the amount of $200 a day to run for a period of 30 days.
Second.
We have a first and a second.
Want that to run for 30 days or until the next meeting?
Period of 30 days or the next meeting, which is
One second, I'll get that date.
We've already issued one citation, right?
This is actually the third citation. The first citation was uncontested.
Second
And the second one he appealed last month, and this
Did
is
they
the
make
third.
any?
No, all of the fees are
They asked about a
unpaid.
plan to pay off that.
They did ask for, to get information about the payment plan. They would have had to done that with our finance department, and to my knowledge, that was not done, and all of the fees are still outstanding. The next board meeting is, August 23rd, so that's the date we're looking at for the per-day fines. Okay, Dearbone, Simpson,
Yes.
Dearbone, Wilder,
Thank you. Under old business, case number 2, case number 2016-39, citation 2016-704, 1524 Parkhurst Drive. Owner is D&L Reynolds, and respondent Don Minton. And Brad, you've got this one.
Last month, the board did not make any motion on this property, but tabled discussion for this meeting. On the 21st, I called the Master Commissioner's office for an update on the property and was told the amended deed had not yet been filed. Basically, I was told the property is in limbo between Mr. Minton and the bank or whoever's going to purchase the property next. Someone is maintaining the property, as you see the pictures in front of you. Someone has gotten rid of the trash and stuff around the mailbox that was there for 6 months. Somebody's mowing the lawn. The carport to the rear of the location has been removed. I'm not sure if Mr. Minton took that when the property was, turned over or not. And in addition, the windows on the front and side of the house have been open since at least last Thursday. So I don't see any activity around the house like anyone is currently residing there. I don't know if that's the bank or Mr. Minton who did that, but the property's still clearly in violation, but it is being maintained by someone as far as the mowing and collection of rubbish and debris and such.
In all likelihood, it's the bank, because they bid it in at the sale. So what's happened, there were 4 of these properties, and this is one of 4. And sometimes what the bank will do is see if somebody else wants it, so that's kind of why we're a little bit up in the air, but the bank's bid it in. So the bank actually, while it's not the title owner, it's the equitable owner of the property. They have an interest in it, so you can tell times have changed a little bit there. The only thing I can tell you, I think, before you do anything, you're gonna have to bring it up at the next meeting to see who owns it now.
What do we stand on money on this one? Any idea?
Don't think
We're gonna get anything anyway?
I'd like to tell you something different.
Yeah. Well, our intent is to close the case, really.
I think you can close it, since he doesn't own it anymore. Now, the question is, between now and the next meeting, you wanna go back, I mean, it tells me somebody's doing something, at this point, which is encouragement. But I think you can close it, and then if titles change, you may be warning the new owner, but that may be the best thing to do, is just close this one.
Keep in mind that I'm up and down that street 2, 3, 4 times a day, sometimes on other cases. So I'm at least in that neighborhood or that neck of the woods 2 or 3 times a week. If there's signs or people or activity or something, that changes where we're at right now, and I can tell that it's changed ownership, or I see for sale signs or something, certainly we can pursue it with the new owners, send a regular notice of violation, and work with them to remedy the violations and abate the nuisance. But I mean, at this point, I guess our hands are kind of tied.
What's the proper protocol for us to close it, suspend it, or what's your recommendation?
That would be sufficient. It's like Mr. Broderick said, what will happen is once that final or the official ownership changes places, we'll get with the new owner and rectify the violations at that time, or at least give them notice of the violations at that time, and then we'll start the process of them getting it fixed. So from your end, I don't think there's a whole lot more for you guys to do, actually.
Let us know next week,
There you
next
go.
month, sorry. Any questions?
You need a motion on that.
Yeah,
You make a motion.
go ahead.
I make a motion that we close this file.
And I'll second that motion.
Wilder, Simpson, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Wilder,
Case number 3, case 2016-3904, citation 2016-3904, 1705 Sunrise Drive South, owner Walker Neil Wheat, recoverable trust, respondent Alan R. Walker, and Officer Mo Hilliard. Mo?
This case is the result of a roaming inspection that I conducted on 6/8 of 16. Just driving by, I saw that the grass was well overgrown. So I sent the notice that day, and the reinspection date was for 6/15. I went back and found the property had not been mowed. This is obviously nobody's living there right now. You can see that nobody's living there. So I thought I'd go ahead and put a door hanger on there with my card, just to try and see if somebody came by. I was kind of hoping they'd maybe just a little bit late and they'd get hold of me. But when I went back on 6/21, the property was still in violation, so I wrote a citation and submitted a work order to have the property mowed. The yard was mowed by a city contractor. I came by on 6/27 to close the work order. That same day, the owner's son, Alan Walker, called. He had come by the house to mow because he was trying to take care of the house for his mom. She died at the end of May. So none of the mail was going to him. It was going somewhere else. So he was trying to appeal the citation. He decided to appeal the citation just because he hadn't got hold of it. But while I was preparing for the appeal, I found out I had put a structural fine on a non-structural violation. So that just was wrong. And just the way the process works, it's really hard to undo a wrong like that. So after speaking to my supervisor, James, it was decided that due to my error, we would request that the board dismiss the citation fee. And I spoke with Mr. Walker, and I explained what I had done, and he agreed to withdraw his appeal and to go ahead and pay the mowing and postage fees, because we did mow it. And since then, he has been keeping the property mowed, and everything's been fine. The pictures are up here of today, which it's in very good condition.
That's the way the system's supposed to work. Good job. Have a motion?
I make a motion to uphold the citation but waive the citation fee in the amount of $150, and the mowing and postage fee will stand for the amount of $56.75.
Dearbone, Wilder, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Wilder.
Thank you. We have no repeat offender information. Consent agenda, June 19, July 16, an amount of $4,416.89, and I think we can cover those all at one time. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the consent agenda, $4,416.89.
Second.
Dearbone, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes,
Dearbone,
Yes.
Wilder.
Yes.
thank you. Do we have any other business to bring before the commission or board?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Wilder, Dearbone, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Dearbone,
Yes.
Wilder.
Yes.
I now declare this meeting adjourned.